Good evening, guys and girls, and welcome to Crash Clinic on a Tuesday evening at 7. Right, just a quick. I've been to a funeral today, so I've had limited time, so it's only going to be a short one. But I still wanted to come on, of course, and talk to you special guys in this industry. Unfortunately, we've lost another great guy in the industry. Many of you may know him if you're in the Birmingham area. Many of you may not. Rocky Clark. We call him Rocky Lotus Clark now. Back in the day when I first started my repair centre, me and my brother, we used to do a lot of repairs for people around that time. They used to repair a lot of salvage. I reckon that probably might, with everything that's going on with the total losses, start happening again. That's how we started our business, and I know that's how many people started their businesses. Rocky was, back in the day, he was RSC auto salvage, and he did a lot of Fords, a lot of RS Cosworths, and he loved anything with a turbo, bless him. Only 57, and unfortunately I was at his funeral today. When my brother died, he couldn't come because he just fell ill, and real big shame. But there you go, we've lost another great guy in the industry, an absolute gent, real character, smashing guy. So 57, way too young. Rest in peace, Rocky. Obviously be greatly missed with his family and stuff. So yeah, big shame, far too young. And back to Crash Clinic. Right, what we got tonight is, I just wanted to, we really do as an industry need to share information between each other. It's something I was thinking about last week, that we're not sharing enough information. Anybody can message me. I'm quite happy to, and I am going to take up some things to task in the next couple of months. I'm just finding out how to do it and just making sure I've got everything, all the, I's dotted and the T's crossed, ready to take some of these problems to task and get them fixed. Now, I want to share information with you guys. I want you guys to share information with me, because I think we need to make things better. We need to know the good, the bad, the ugly. And if anything good's happening, let us know. And if anything bad is happening, let us know. We can then obviously discuss this and bring it out in the open and share it with everybody else, of course, which is really important. That's if there is any good stuff happening, by the way, in this industry, which I'm sure there is somewhere. But we have a lot of bad stuff, of course. And I'm just going to, it's stuff like the engineers removing stuff last week. We mentioned, only touched on it. It's been all over, all over the internet. The engineers are taking stuff off estimates. I've had quite a few rows this week in regards to stuff like the BSI charge, the estimating. We put an estimate fee on it as well, because if you think about it, you still have to pay a guy to do an estimate, especially now. Then you have to pay for your, your added tax fees and all that stuff. So you have to put an estimate charge on it, whether you get the job or not. To me, you've got to put a charge on it. So if you get the job, you don't take it off. For me, you leave it on. It's a fee, and some people don't like that. There's COVID sanitisation. Simple things. Has COVID gone? Remember how COVID hit us very, suddenly from nowhere? We know COVID's still about. Maybe not be as strong, but we know, it's been quite heavy in other areas of the world, especially in China. What happens if that suddenly hits us again? We're still doing a COVID sanitisation. Insurers don't want to pay for it. They don't want to pay for BSI. They don't want to pay for methods, as we know. All these things are wrong, of course, but we need a way of challenging these and making sure we get these little fees. All these little fees can add up to be quite, a nice sum of money on an estimate, but they're genuine things that I think we should be charging. What are you charging? What are we all charging? We need to share information, guys. So today for me is all about, we need to come together and share more information. That's what Crash Clinic, the website, was designed for, because you can. I'm starting to think people in this industry are really scared to speak out. All these anonymous people, don't be wrong, I'm happy to sit here and talk about it, because it's anonymous people telling me and giving me information to talk about. But people are really scared, and that bothers me really, because is it, why are we so scared to speak out in this industry? Are insurers that powerful? Well, I told you the story a couple of weeks ago about what happened to me many years ago, and I'm still here, just about. Anyway, obviously today, just sharing information was a massive thing for me. So guys, whatever good, bad you've got, please try and drop me some messages and send some information in. Total losses. It's been a subject we touched on last week. Funny enough, Tim Guru, Motor Claim Guru, also has been touching on this, and I think we did it at the same time. So it's been interesting to see. I'm having a nightmare with 3 or 4 people. Now, I've got 4 claims that I'm looking after where the vehicles are being offered way less than what they are worth. I've actually got one now that's my own vehicle that's been written off, and I'm having a great bit of fun with this. It's outrageous. It's a 17 to 19 grand car. Been offered 10 grand. £10,000. I've also been told that I can't have the VAT, and this is for a different company of mine that's not VAT registered. So I'm having to train the guy on VAT and stuff. Outrageous. The stuff that he's feeding me back just to get out of paying for this total loss is ridiculous. So talking about it with Tim last week, of course, made it. How are we doing, Brett? Hope you're good, mate. Oh, it's end of month and we're in March next week. How crazy is that? I hope everyone's had a great month, although it is the short one. We miss a few days. But jumping back to the total losses, because this could be a real big effect on our industry. And I'm going to show you quickly what I've read. And this was, I think it was yesterday or today. Crash repair process in turmoil. Now, this is, you obviously see that this is a live, recent magazine post, and I'll show you the magazine in a moment. Repairable cars are being written off due to supply chain issues and higher car costs. The Association of the British Insurers reports that courtesy car costs to repairers have risen by 30%, probably to do with the value of cars, etc. But this is what really got me, because if there's any of you guys out there who know anybody that's having a problem with a total loss, or you've got a job in that the customer wants repaired and doesn't want a total loss, the FCA have issued warning to insurers. Insurers have been warned against offering drivers less than the market value for their car and then writing it off. The Financial Conduct Authority said it had evidence of insurers offering customers a price lower than the vehicle's fair market value, and said claims staff were only increasing an offer when a consumer complained. Well, I can assure you this week I've had 4 claims of 4 total losses that I have actually put the complaints in. They're stickling in and they're fighting these now. So this is going to be a big issue. Insurers, again, as they do, they just want to be a bully. Me, why don't we get stuck in and take one to task? I'm hopefully going to take my own one to task. So that could be great fun, and we'll see where we go with that, because we all know vehicle values are all over the place at the moment. Vehicles are worth far more than we think they are because of the demand on vehicles. But at least this has gone as far as the FCA now. They're saying that you should complain to your insurer, and if not, then to the Financial Ombudsman. So I'm going to presume that it's the Financial Ombudsman that goes to the FCA. But at least they're fully aware of it. We were only talking about it last week, what an impact it's having and how bad it is. So interesting one that it's already with the FCA. So yeah, guys, if you get a problem, bring it up. Tell the insurer you're going to take it to the FCA. I think we did something on here not too long ago. If a case gets open with the FCA, it automatically costs the insurer £300, and then I think the costs go up to about £800 per claim. So again, it's worth doing. If they're going to be awkward to customers and cost them money and try and rip them off, I think it's disgusting. So get to the FCA, get a complaint in, and that might settle it for you. Failing that, we've always got our Tim Motorcloud Guru, because I think he's had a lot to do with that article himself anyway, which is all good. Something I touched on last week, if there's anybody on there who wants to mention this 4-day working week. Could a 4-day working week work for us? I've been trying to sort of have a think about it. It was all over the news saying it's a good thing to do. I do know one repairer who said he's already been doing this for a year, and he said it's working really well, because he's doing 12-hour shifts, and then he's doing the 1 day off for them, so his staff are getting a longer break. But he reckons he's become more productive on those days. Don't know how true it is until you test it, but it sounded, I've got to be honest, I was a little bit worried about it at first, because for us, if someone has an accident, we've got to be there to take that car for them. We've got to be there to go and collect it. We've got to be there on the end of the phone. And if you start splitting the staff, we like them all to be there for the process. Insurers already complain and say, oh, that should have been a 4-day repair, because it's got four days worth of hours on it, but they don't realize it can go in a queue, can't get onto the jig, all the normal kind of stuff that does happen, because we don't live in a perfect world, as we know. So interestingly, has anyone tested it? That's something, again, I'd like to know about. Are you thinking of testing it? Do you think it'll work? Do you think I put a poll out there, but again, because I've been to the funeral, I haven't had time to pull these stats in. I'll probably do that next week and see where we are with that. But yeah, an interesting one. Could it work? I suppose it could if you can work later hours and stuff. Not sure, but maybe the office staff are there to take calls and keep keep the business flowing. But it could be interesting. Would you prefer a 4-day week yourself? Let me know. Please share your thoughts on that. Right. Obviously, I just told you about the engineer there that I've been around with over evaluation, and I'm actually just sitting back laughing because I'm being really bullied, and I'm loving it because I'm not going to let him bully me, but it's just funny because I know what he's trying to do. This guy's coming out with absolutely everything he can think of. I will tell you the insurer later as well, which will like as soon as I've got the claim concluded, and I'll let you know where it goes, which will be quite interesting. Brett Archer, how we doing, mate? How about a 4-day and a 3-day? We all pay rent, rates, insurance for 7. So maybe we could save some money, Brett. I like it. Yeah, obviously 2 teams. Yep, I think we're going to have to do that, mate. I think, but it's interesting if you think about working a longer day. I would have always said you'd get more production out of somebody for 8 hours because their energy levels, they're going to stay, energetic for 8 hours more so than a 12-hour day. If you're a business owner like myself, we regularly do 12 to 16-hour days. And let's be honest, we're tired at the end of them. So will we get more productivity out of a 12-hour day than doing an 8-hour day? It's going to have its pluses and its minuses, of course. I'm open to you guys telling me what you think. I suppose if you're doing that 12 hours, you're going to get more cars finished in them 12 hours because they would have gone home after 8 hours. But how productive will they be for the 12-hour stretch? Because that's the only way really you can go down to 4 days is by putting more hours into that section. Also, you've got people working with dangerous machinery, so I'm quite shocked in that area. Does that mean we've got to give them more breaks to make sure? Because that will be probably hit with us next. But again, interested in everybody's views. Let me know next week, or let me know on this post, because I'll bring it up next week, what you think of the 4-day working week. It's very interesting. Maybe we test it. I'm thinking of probably giving it a test, speaking to me lads, seeing what they think. Because if they've had 3 days off, they could come off fresher for so. Yeah, let's wait and see. There's all big talks about us doing it anyway. So I'm all for people having life, enjoying 3 days off and having a nice. So yeah, could be good. We will see, of course. It's March, Brett. You've just reminded me it's March tomorrow. Where is this year going from? Paul Ives, how we doing, buddy? Hope you're well, matey. Could you find enough staff to have 2 teams? This is, errors all the time, problems all the time, isn't it, Paul? Could we find enough staff? Because you're going to have to break them up, obviously. Normally, you like them to work together because, let's face it, if you've got a team like we have, we're a small enough team, but a great team. They'll jump on it and help each other. One will hold a bonnet, one will fit it. I'm sure you've got similar guys. But if you've spread the times out and they're on their own kind of less, I don't know. As I said, we've got to test it, haven't we? And I'm interested in anyone who has. I've spoke to one person who has so far. I'd like to speak to him further. I might even try and get him onto the show just to discuss how it works for him, because I think it's really interesting. He says it's more productive, which is fabulous. If it's working, then maybe we should all be doing it. Right, just going down now. I've absolutely blown away today. We're obviously talking. I've been away for a little while, as you know, because of what happened to my brother. I came back and thought, it's New Year. We're into the new year. New rates. We'll know all the problems that's going on. So surely the rates that have been going up and everything was going to be getting better, was what I had hoped for. Maybe I should have known better, is what I should say there. But yeah, so today I received I don't know, you might have got it yourself. It's quite open because it just came in an open email. It didn't say please don't tell anyone and please don't. So I suppose I could really say who it is if I needed. But it said we'd like to offer you some work, and then it gave me the rates and what the contract would be. So I was just interested. So this is only this afternoon as well. So I've opened it up and I was like, wow, here we go again. The first one was £34 an hour with no parts discount. Now, bearing in mind, I'm the guy who says we should not be giving parts discount, full stop. We don't get enough discount, and we have to employ someone to run a department to look after all the parts that go on these cars. We shouldn't be giving any discount whatsoever on parts. But what you got to imagine here as well is, and so some people this might look good. Let me know your thoughts, because it then said paint 90%. Okay, not too bad on paint, but I think we should get 100% paint as well. I don't know why everyone gets these discounts unless someone is sending you a lot of work, then you can negotiate a discount. If you're an independent repairer without a contract of work coming in, there should be no, it's mental. But anyway, so then if you look at that, it says it wants a 10% overall. So 10% overall means your £34 an hour now becomes £30.60. So you're back to this £30 an hour. What is it in our industry where, these dealerships can charge £100? I know for a fact that dealerships rates are going up as well. I think they're getting up to about 125 plus an hour. And we're still struggling at £30 an hour. Now, it says there that it gives no paint discount and it only gives, no parts discount and only 90% on paint. Well, if you add the extra 10%, this is off the full invoice, you're actually giving 80% on paint and you're giving 10% parts discount because you're giving an overall 10% discount. So, I don't know. I just think for me, these contracts, I actually opened it with a bit of hope thinking maybe they're getting a bit better. And I'll tell you what I saw at the end of this when I realized. I then went, it gave you a standard rate, a non-fault rate, and a fleet rate, and some different kind of ways of repairing cars. So the fleet rate was a little bit more of a discount, which was 15%. And it wanted also no part, no paints. But then, like I've just said, if you're giving, you've got to look at this. It looks attractive with no paint and no parts. But if you're giving a 15% over the whole invoice, you're giving 15% parts and 15%. So it's a lot of money, really. But anyway, when you're only getting £30 an hour, what do you guys? Have you guys come up with a minimum working hour now? Is there anything you won't work for? I know we're already. I think it's £40 an hour. If it's under £40, we're not doing it. We want more, more up towards the £50. But you're having to say no because it just. You can be a very busy fool in this industry. And is there any point? But what got me was also the credit repair side of things, which is what should be good, came up to £45 an hour. But now you're talking less, 20%. 20% off invoice value. So now you're giving £40 an hour, less 10% only comes down to £36 an hour again. So now you're working for £36 an hour. And you're also giving 20% off your paint and 20% off your parts. So absolutely outrageous. But what I realized from this is this contract, if they're having to give no parts discount, no paints discount, it means there is a work provider who's supplying them the work that is understanding our problems and is actually saying, you don't have to have a parts discount. You don't have to. This is the network people who are supplying the work that are taking this percentage. So maybe the insurers are actually starting to now realize that the parts discounts are very harsh because they've got to, if they're not careful, they're going to lose too many repair centers. Well, are they? Are the groups just going to gather together, get bigger, and then offer and then increase their rates and hold them to ransom? It's going to be an interesting next few years. I've said this all along. The next few years is very critical to this industry. And it is going to be a very interesting few years ahead. And that's why I've said Crash Clinic, we need to come together and share information. Information between us, I really believe is key. That we all know what's going on in the industry. We all know what's happening and we can get a guide what insurers are doing, engineers are doing. It was great to see somebody posted and said, why is it this engineer's taking all these stuff off my estimates? What I found fascinating was loads of people then popped up and said, yeah, and me, and they're doing it to me. And so these are things we could name and shame. We can gather information on who's doing it. We could pinpoint it. If we share information to an engineer, who is the engineer that's doing this? And we can raise these issues somewhere or do something about it. But if we don't share information, we're not going to do anything about it. So, I'm going to keep sitting here every week trying to get you guys to listen. I'm starting to think people are scared. I hope I'm wrong because we should be able to speak our mind in an industry that is suffering. We need to speak together. But if Crash Clinic was devised, as I say, come to me. People are giving me information. You won't hear me telling anybody. I won't tell anyone's names. I'll tell the story, but I won't tell the name. And everything is kept confidential with myself. But Crash Clinic is so we can actually talk amongst ourselves. And you're only talking to repair centers because it's only repair centers that are on there. And we're all in the same boat together. So I think information is key. But I'm getting to the level where I'd actually like to start taking stats start taking, different information from each other. And if you spot something you think's going on in this industry, just like now, even the total losses that needed bringing up, as I've said to you, this industry is going to change a lot in the next 10 years. So it's down to us to sort of, in my opinion, get a hold of this, share the information, and try and help each other. Otherwise, I think we're going to be in a sorry state in the next sort of 5 years' time. And I think it'll be as quick as that. Think how quick they're trying to go all electric and everything else. So, yeah, the next 10 years is going to be interesting. So, guys, I was going to keep it short today anyway, obviously because of I've been out all day. So, please, today was all about share information. Share information. We need to talk. Interesting one about the 4-day week. It's something that's all over the news that I think the government may even try and push this in at some stage. So could we do it? How would we do it? Interesting one. And has anyone tried it? If you have, let us know in the comments so we can bring this up again. Guys and girls, it is, as Brett said, it's happy end of month. And tomorrow is actually happy start of the month. So another new month in. Hope you've had a great February. The weather, I have to be honest, I'm just going to quickly say this, is so strange this year. I've been a bit of a weather follower all my life because when I first started, we had proper winters. So our industry, we knew that we would be absolutely rammed from October to sort of March, April, and then it would start to sort of taper down May, June, and then you'd have a quietish July, August, and September because they were our hotter months. Now, obviously, that's not the case. But what I had noticed over the last few years is the shift had gone from January to February for our winters. We didn't have cold Octobers and Novembers. I think it's been ever so warm. It's been, we haven't even had as much rain. And I always judge that by the kids' football because my kids play football and I've still got one left playing football. And he's played more football this season than the last 3 years. The last 3 years, it's cooled off, it's cooled off, it's cooled off. They haven't been being cooled off. So are we going to get a winter? It does affect us again because, like you say, we get the winter coming in, we get the rain, we get any snow. I don't think we're going to see snow. Is it going to be cold enough? It's suddenly gone cold again now, which is March, just hitting into March, which is crazy. Are the seasons changing? Are you watching it? Because you're in the same industry. And I used to like the fact that it was, because I hate the winter anyway, so I'd put all my hours and work in the winter. And when the summer came, we can go and have some fun, go down the coast, get some jet skis out and have a bit of fun. But it's just changing drastically. So, yeah, very interesting there again with weather. But again, this is all information, guys. I'm interested in what you're saying. I'm up in the Midlands, of course, in Birmingham. So maybe you're seeing different weather to me. But, yeah, we're having a fun time. It's been very, very warm. And I know it's gone. But the nights seem to be getting cold quite quickly at the moment. They are where we are. I know that. I'll be putting a jacket on when I go home. But in the days, it's been pretty warm. Strange. But obviously, snow and rain affects us because we get more accidents. Is everybody still as busy as they were over Christmas? And do we have this? Is there still a capacity problem? I've had a couple of customers still saying that they can't get booked in for quite a while. And I'm intrigued whether you are. So very, very strange. But guys, share your information. Anything you're bothered about, anything you're interested in. I'll keep trying to bring up content, of course, but still share that information. Let me know on the 4-week working. I'm looking for anyone who's done it, doing it, tried it. Interested to know myself. Is it going to benefit us all? We will soon find out, I suppose. Anyway, gang, have a fantastic evening. It's end of the year, so I'm sure you're all going to be busy with your end of month, and is it end of year as well? It is, isn't it? No, it's not. End of March is. So it's, of course. So we've got another month to go, and end of year, of course. So I hope everyone's had a great February, and we will see you next Tuesday. Take care, gang. See you soon. Done. Where's me tune gone? See you later. Cheers. Take care. No, wrong button. Oh dear. Take care all. Have a great week.